In advanced campaigns, there are usually multiple stages which a lead can progress through. Unlike a simple campaign like an email out, which simply has one stage, sent or not sent, advanced campaigns can have multiple stages. For example, in an event, a lead could be invited, registered, have attended or not attended. It's important that we keep track of these stages for both reporting and for automation. In Marketo, this is done using something called program statuses. Program statuses represent the different stages or states a lead can be in for a particular type of campaign. If we were running a live event versus a webinar, we might have different stages. For example, for an event, the stages could be invited, registered, not attended, and attended. As we run this campaign, Marketo can keep track of how many leads are at which stage at any one time. This, of course, will change as the campaign progresses. These stages are also used to decide what's next in terms of automated workflows, and they are a critical part of building an advanced campaign. So let's create a program with program statuses in Marketo. Firstly, we'll go to Marketing Activities, and we're going to find our folder. Right-click, create a new program. We're going to call it My First Event, and then add your name at the end. For the program type, we're going to select Event. This program type of event will then refine what we see in the channel. We'll select the trade show, and it's the channel type which actually determines what program statuses will be available to us when we create this particular program. So let's click Create. If we go to the main tab of the program and scroll down, you'll notice that there's a section called Members by Program Status. So the program statuses we have available for this particular type of program is Not in Program, Invited, Attended Show, Visited Booth, and Engaged. And you'll notice right now there are no people in any of those. So now we're going to create a new campaign, and we're going to call it Send Invite. Then we'll click Create. Now for the Send Invite, we're going to firstly target a list of people. So we're simply going to say member of list, and then select one of the lists you've created previously. So we'll look for test list fab. For the flow, what we're going to do is send the email. Doesn't really matter which email you send, so just pick one that you've already created. Now the key step here is how do we modify the program status for a particular person? So we've sent that person the invite. They won't automatically progress through the program statuses. You need to create a step that does this. The way to do that is by using the change program status flow step. So we're going to drag that across and drop it here. Now for this particular program, it's already automatically selected, and then the status we want to select is invited. So what this is doing now is actually progressing the lead that gets the email through to the invited stage if we send the email. Now we could do this, for example, conditionally by saying, for example, if they'd actually opened the email, only then would we consider them invited. So you can use this change program status just like you do with any flow, and the logic is up to you. So in this particular case, I'm going to change it back, get rid of the choice, and then just select current program, my first event, and make the status invited. The next step is to actually run this campaign and then look at the results. So we need to go to schedule. You'll notice that there are no existing leads. So what we're going to need to do is find the list that we use in the smart list, so test list fab, and add a lead to that so that we have someone to test on. The way to do that is to go to lead database. We can then find our particular list, click on it, and then we're going to go create new lead. We'll add our own details and then click create. So now we've added a lead to our test list. We'll go back to marketing activities, back to our event, find the program, go back to schedule. And what we should see now is one existing lead. We're now going to edit this so that it can flow through every time if we want to rerun it for testing. And we're going to run it once. Before we run this, let's have a look at the program tab. So if we go to members by program status, you'll notice that there's nothing. If we go to members, you'll also notice there's nothing. Now this will change when we run the campaign. So let's go back to send invite, go back to schedule, and we're going to run this. Now remember, what this is going to do is send the email, which we're not interested in at this point. What we're interested in is when it changes the program status. So let's do that. Click run once, click run now, and click run. So now this is scheduled and it's about to run. If we want to see it happening real time, we can go to results. You'll see the email's been sent. So let's refresh this. You'll also notice another type of activity called change program status. Move this detail part. What we'll see is the status has changed from not in program to invited for this particular lead. So we only have one lead in our list, so that's all we're going to see. Now, if I drill into this particular lead and I go to the activity log, what it will look like is firstly, we've created this lead, we've added it to the list, we've sent the email, and then we've changed the progress status. That's actually occurred through this campaign. So send invite, and we can see what program status has occurred. Now, if we go back to our campaign and we go back to the top level program, you'll notice a few things. Now we have a member, which is our test lead. We have one member that's invited, which is that test lead again. And if we click on members, this will currently show us all the people involved in this program and what status they have. So Fab Capo from company test lead is a member of this program and their status is invited. So as you can tell, this is a very useful way to look at a particular program and see at which stage all the leads are. The other thing I can do is manually change the status of particular leads or a set of leads. By clicking on the lead, clicking change status, I can make them not in the program or progress them along manually. This is useful for two reasons. The first one is just managing a particular program. You may manually want to make changes. And the second is for testing. If we want to rerun this with the lead, we could change them to be not in the program. And that would reset their program status and allow us to rerun this. Program statuses are not just used in the flow step of a campaign. They can also be used in the smart list. So they can be used as criteria for determining when a trigger will activate. So for example, for the send invite campaign, let's go to the smart list. And let's say we wanted to rerun this send invite a few times because the list that we're inviting changes over time. Then this wouldn't work because this would simply resend the invite to everyone. We might want to check that they're not already in the invited program status. The way to do that is by using the member of program filter. Now, member of program has a constraint called program status. And what we're going to do is we're going to say that we're going to run this only if they're a member of the list and they're either not a member or they're a member of the list, but their program status is not invited. So now, if we rerun this campaign a few times, it will skip the people that have already been invited through this logic. So program statuses are not just useful for flow steps, but they're useful for the criteria of smart lists as well.